welcome back to the Caprine Cottage knitting podcast. My name is Anne, and today I'm joining you from my kitchen in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. So, I guess I don't know how to start this video totally. I'm not really going to get into this, but not having the best week for a plethora of reasons. I think that I want to not talk about that here, but I definitely am having kind of a rough time, and I should have filmed this yesterday. It's now Thursday afternoon. It's kind of gloomy, and I feel like I'm trying to find a way to channel the energy I have into something positive, because I feel like at the end of the day, art is what saves us. And so I've really toyed with how and what and how much I want to say here, and I think I'm probably going to stick to saying very little. But I will say that if I seem a little off, I'm just in a mood. I'm doing the best I can. But on the other side of that, I do feel like creating is the thing that always I come back to. It is the rock in my life. It's where whatever I'm feeling can, whether it's good or bad, find a way to grow into something beautiful, I guess. So I'm trying to remember that the world is a beautiful place, and that all the little things are what really matters, and that at the end of the day, I think people are just doing what they think is right. I don't think, this has been quoted before, but, nobody is the bad guy in their own story. And I think that for the most part, that's very true. People see themselves as being good people, even if sometimes their actions are harmful without them knowing that. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to try and stay positive. I have a cozy video planned. Like I said, it's not gloomy here, but it's like sun and clouds. It's a little dark in here. I have a cup of tea. Wait, you can't see it. Oh, and my mug is really dirty. Sorry, but I have my goat mug. I think I've showed you this before. The potter that makes this, she doesn't really sell online anymore, so sorry. And I think this was one of a kind, but it's a medieval goat. And what is better than a medieval goat? Also, there's tea all on the outside, sorry, but this is round 2. I'm on my second cup of caffeinated tea today. This is Yorkshire Gold, which is I think it tastes like getting punched in the face in a good way. Not Earl Grey. I will say that, I told you, this is going to be chatty, so if you're not in the mood to chat, sorry. But in my last video I said I'm on the hunt for the perfect Earl Grey, and a bunch of you suggested ones to me. So I'm looking forward to ordering some, if not all of those, and trying them out. But all of that was a lot to say. This week's video is going to be about my late autumn and winter knitting plans and gift knitting. So when I got back from Rhinebeck, and I guess it would have been the video before Rhinebeck, I was talking about how I was going to start the Tara shawl, and that's still going to happen this winter. But then when I got back, I realized how little time there is until Christmas. And how I have these grand ambitions of all these things I'm going to knit for people. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing I'm missing one project, but I'll just talk about it briefly. But yeah, so I have to get my butt in gear, and Socktober was sort of not a flop for me, but I did finish 2 socks, but not of the same pair. And when I do another regular podcast episode, hopefully I will finish some, or I can show you guys. I don't know when that's going to be. The schedule got all funky from going away, and then I haven't had, it's been kind of crazy around here. We're really working on finishing up some of the remodel in part of our house. We pretty much last week moved every single piece of furniture in our house, upstairs, downstairs, all over the place. It was just crazy. So I haven't I guess that could have been vlog content. I didn't think of that really, but a farm vlog did not happen for October. I haven't been spinning. It's just been kind of crazy, but I feel like now that it's, you know, my brain is starting to shift into holiday mode and I have a lot of things to show you. Both my own personal like winter knitting plans, and this is probably going to be the projects that carry me through until 2025, and then also some gift knitting projects. And yeah, I guess I have like two stipulations here. One is that a lot of these things are in zippy bags, plastic zippy bags, and so there's going to be crinkling throughout. I always try really hard to warn you guys, like if I'm going to make like loud abrasive sounds, because when you're watching in headphones, it can be really jarring. So that's here now. I'm probably going to do a lot of crinkling through the whole episode. I just like couldn't be bothered to like rearrange everything in an aesthetic way. And then the second little stipulation is that like if you are my mom, my best friend, any of my like close friends, yeah, like if you're a member of like my close group of people, like if you don't want to see your Christmas present or like have it spoiled what I'm making for you, then like don't watch once I tell you that I'm going to talk about gift knits, because they're for you. And I was trying to think of the best way to like handle gift knitting, but if I don't talk about it in a video, I'm going to have no content for like 2 months. So it just has to be what it is. But I think I'm going to start the video with my personal knitting plans, and then there will be like not a break, but a time, and I'll say I'm going to talk about gift knits now. And so if you're one of those people, don't watch that part, please. I'll put timestamps in. Okay, but anyway, I think we'll just get into the like knitting plan stuff. And I already mentioned briefly about the Tara shawl, and so oops, that is still in this bag. I showed you guys the colors in my last podcast episode, but the one thing I'm going to say is that I did come up with, I'm going to insert a picture here right now, right here, but I came up with like the order in which I want to do the colors I've chosen. So I'm just going to put that in here. And so that's one personal knitting project for, you know, the winter, like late autumn, winter time of this year. And also everything will be linked below as always, but maybe I'll put a picture of the Tara shawl too. Some people, or I think one person commented and said they made it already and that it is kind of a quick project. So maybe that'll be like my during Christmas time project. I don't really know. Yeah. And then, so I guess we'll go to this next. So this, in this bag here, I'm just going to take everything out and then show you. So it's all the noises at one time. Sorry, I'm also a little sniffly. I don't know what that's about. But maybe I've shown these yarns before. I don't know. But I have these two skeins from, one's in a ball, but two skeins from Lichen and Lace. And this is, sorry, I can't see it. They're Rustic Heather Sport in the color Sage. I have two skeins of it. And this I got from a Woolly Thistle mystery box a long time ago now. And, I know what project I'm going to make, but I like just haven't gotten around to it. And that is, did I please tell me I wrote it on here? Yes. So it's the Late Bloomer Mittens. I'll put a picture here, and I don't know the designer, so like it'll all be here. But I also got in my Poppy and Spruce mystery yarn package, whatever it was called, I got this mohair. And I just feel like these are the perfect combo. Yeah, the Late Bloomer Mittens and then the Bow Ray that just came out. If I have enough. I think I have enough because I'm pretty sure the mittens only call for one skein of the Lichen and Lace. And it's like 200 yards. And then wait, how many yards is this? Yeah, so there should be enough mohair because this is 459, which I feel like is pretty standard for 50 grams. But there should be enough mohair to be enough to go with these two skeins of the sport weight. So that will be held double. It'll be a pair of mittens and a cute little hat. And I think that that'll be a really cute and nice winter accessory set for myself for this winter. The next project is the big project. This is my big winter project for myself. I don't foresee myself finishing this anytime before, like, sorry, Feeney's playing in her room. I can just hear her. But I don't foresee myself finishing this until probably like May, I'm guessing. I feel like this is going to be a very long-term project, so you're going to see it a lot. But it's in this, in my new Pearl Scouts tote. Wow, wait, you can't see that. Pearl Scouts, and then I feel like I'm going to knock over this cup of tea. Let's have some more. But it's partially in here, oops, and partially in here. Oh my god. But so this, and I talked about this a little bit, I don't even know in what videos, in recent videos, but it's the Burra cardigan, and it's from this book. It's called My Fair Isle Journey, and I got this a few months ago, and this is going to be the first project I make out of this book. I genuinely want to make like every single thing out of here, but here, I'll just show you. There's no chart or anything on this page. I'll just show you this page. So that's what it looks like. And I will put another picture up and link it and everything so you can go look at the Ravelry pattern page. But I want to talk a little bit about the colors because I did make some changes because I can't be stopped. So I guess I'm going to take everything out of the bags again and then we'll go from there because it's too loud. Okay, so now it's quiet at least. But so for the main colors, hold on, I'm going to get them. These are the two reds, and I stuck with what the pattern calls for. I love red. I think I've talked about that before. I'm not going to say red is my favorite color, but it is one of my favorite colors. It's definitely my favorite bright color, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not really a bright color kind of gal. I like moody, kind of like grungy colors normally, but I love bright red. And so these are the two main colors. These are both from Jamieson and Smith, and I bought them from the Woolly Thistle. I love the Woolly Thistle, but, okay, so the two colors are 1403 red and 9113 maroon, and I wish I brought it out with me. This is not, if you, like, have a Jamieson or a JNS, like, swatch card, or you've used their yarn before, this is not the brightest red. I don't know the number of the brightest red, but this is, like, one down, and then this is one darker. It's like, so it's, like, brightest red, this one, and then this one. So those are the main body colors. That's what the pattern called for. And then there's these two accent colors. Oh my gosh, sorry. So much yarn. So this one is 203 light gray and then 36 navy. And so these, again, the pattern or the sample, like whatever you want to say, the sample color uses these as well. The sample, I don't know, whatever you want to say. So this is a very dark navy and then a kind of light to medium natural gray. But then here's where the changes come in. So here I have it in my phone list. The pattern calls for, okay, what is it? Number 34 and number 1282, which is a green and a lighter green. And then also it calls for like a mustard yellow, which I don't have written down. But it's different than what I'm using. So for the yellow, I'm using this 50-gram ball from J.C. Rennie. It is, I'm sure I've showed this before. I was going to use this for my Tara, but I ended up going a different route. Okay, so this is, well, it's J.C. Rennie Unique Shetland 4-ply. So it's a fingering weight. It's very similar to like J&S or Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift. I cannot see the shade number on here, but the color is cumin. So that's the yellow I'm using. And then I showed you guys in my haul video, I got 2 balls of chartreuse, which is number 365, but this is from Jamieson's of Shetland. And I bought this at the festival. And so then I had to pick, I'm using this for the light green. And this is a much more yellow light green than what the sample is. That's like a very cool light green. And I wanted something more earthy because I don't want it to be like, it reads Christmas to me with this like bluer green and the bright red. And I want it to be, I mean, you can wear anything you want whenever, but I just feel like it feels very Christmassy to me. And I just want to be able to like wear it all the time and have it be more neutral, I guess. So I needed to pick a green that is more, a dark green that's more on that yellow side. So like I said, the top is chartreuse Spindrift. And then the bottom color that I went with is also from Jamieson and Smith, also from the Woolly Thistle. but it's FC12 mix, which is, this is one of my favorite JNS jumper weight colors. This is also going to be in my Tara. It's over there. I don't have another ball of it, but I love this green. It's sort of like, oh, I don't know how to describe it. It's very heathered. It's like gold green. It seems almost like it has some flecks of orange in it. The thing that this reminds me of, and this is going to be a funny thing to say, but it sort of reminds me of like carpeting from the 70s. Like there's like something about it that's just nostalgic to me. I love this color. But anyway, that is my color palette for the Burra. So here's my color palette. Oh my gosh, please don't fall. You can get a little looky at what they look like. There, you can see that green better. But yeah, so I am so excited about this. I have wanted I've been wanting to make a cardigan. I've never knit a cardigan before. And I've been wanting to do an all over colorwork project, like traditional like Fair Isle colorwork, and obviously any chance I get, I want to be using Shetland yarn. So yeah, this is just the project I settled on. I'm realizing I'm like gesticulating over here and you can't actually see. My whole like kitchen table is here and it's covered now in yarn. But yeah, so that's a lot of yarn, but I'm super psyched about that project. I just foresee it being like taking me kind of a long time. Okay, so you've now reached the gift knitting section of this video. So if you are like my mom, either of my parents, my best friend, Caleb, he won't watch it without me. And he'll probably see his anyway. But if you're like someone close in my life, like don't watch this unless you want to know what your Christmas present is. I think I'm going to go by the order in which I'm going to knit them. So first is this giant bag of Plotalopi. I'm just going to open it quick. And so I'm making my mom two things from Modern Daily Knitting Moss, but this is field guide number 26. This is where my crowberry sweater came from, and so I have a whole bunch of Plotalopi leftovers from that project, and just extra because, yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to make my mom, I don't know if it's meant to be a set, but they definitely go together, and I'm going to put the pictures here, but it is the reindeer moss tam and the reindeer moss mittens. And so they use, or at least the tam uses, this is clover, my favorite Plotalopi color. This is the main color for both the mittens and the tam, and I have 2 plates, well, like 1 plate and a partial, but there's quite a bit here. And that's color 1423 is clover. And then I'm not going to have all the color numbers here. It also uses white, which what is white 1? Yeah, number 1, white. And then this green, I think this is forest green. I might be able to just look really fast. There's not a lot of the forest green. It's only in the tam pattern for like a tiny little band of like a leaf motif. But it is, yeah, this is forest green, number 484. It's kind of like a bluer dark green. And then black. This is just plain black that I have. It's not the heathered black. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. So it's just black. I don't know what number black is. But so those are the 2 things I'm making for my mom, and I'll put pictures either here or before. I'm not sure if I would have put them up already. And that's the first thing I'm going to cast on. I feel like, because I don't think, now I'm like checking myself. So the mittens, it's not held double with anything. And I'm realizing now that for the tam, it is held double, but I have also leftover Einband from my sweater that I can use for that, because I need the moss green and the like medium green, and I have plenty of that left over. I'm happy I noticed because it's not in my project section. But I'm gonna cast on the tam first, I think, and then do the mittens. I feel like the tam, not normally I can knock out a fingering weight tam in like a couple days, and this is going to be, it's sport with lace, so it's like almost DK weight. So I feel like I could knock that out really, really fast. And then the mittens I think are just Plotalopi Hill double. So that will also be relatively quick. I don't think, oh, I've made fingerless mitts. I would say I've never made mittens before, but I don't think it's going to be too hard. They can't be any more than socks, right? And they don't have fingers. Like the fingerless mitts I had, like had fingers, and not that that was difficult, but I feel like that was the hardest part of it. So that is my gift for my mom. I'm really excited about it. She keeps, she really loves that sweater, the crowberry sweater, and she keeps being like, when do I get mine? And I admit that I'm like a little selfish and I don't know if I have it in me to knit an entire sweater for another person just yet. I think a day will come in my life when I've like made all the things I want for myself that then I will want to make garments for other people. I just don't feel like I'm emotionally there yet. I know that that sounds selfish, but it's the truth. So I think I'm just going to stick to making people accessories. I always make people accessories. Yeah. So then the next thing, I don't have the yarn here for it, but I just have my bag with the pattern in it. It's waiting for yarn, because that's part of the issue with a lot of these projects is like I'm using yarn, all the same yarn kind of. So this is the Moonlight Bloom mittens by Anna Sophia Wintersall, and I'm going to put the picture here. But I want to make these for my best friend, and she loves everything. Like she always wears black. She loves everything black. So I think I'm going to buy a plate of the heathered black, and then the accent is in white. So it's just going to be black and white, or like gray and white. But I think I'm going to buy a plate of the heathered black for her for that. I think that they're just the cutest mittens with the little moon on them, and I feel like she will love them. I hope so. Hopefully I'll get them done. I've decided that her project I'm going to make last, because if I don't finish it in time, her birthday is in April, so I can just like get her another present for the holidays and then finish the mittens for her birthday if I need to, which kind of I guess is too bad because it won't be mitten season anymore, but oh well. And then I was going to say the final thing I have, but it's kind of like second to final thing. This is my project for Caleb, and I feel like you guys maybe saw this pattern and are going to laugh, or you haven't seen it and maybe you will like know someone in your life, but it's the Nug Cowl, and this is by Tommy Schaefer, and this is a free pattern, and so it's really funny. I'm going to put a picture up, but it's a cowl and it has like marijuana leaves on it. And the thing I think that's extra funny about it is there's like baubles in it at the bottom of the leaves, so it's like textural, like it's a bud. And yeah, I just think it's going to be really funny for Caleb. And I bought from a D-stash on Facebook Marketplace, I bought this yarn and another skein of this. The other skein is for me, but it's another beautiful, hideous, that's your opinion, lime green yarn. And this is, like I said, I got it from a D-stash, so I don't really know this farm, but Hands and Heart Farm, and it's a sport weight sock yarn. And the funny story about this yarn is I bought this skein and another skein that's like also hand dyed, but it's pink and black. And I bought them to make socks for Caleb and I, and then I realized when I got it that it was sport weight sock. And I only ever make fingering weight socks. So I had to come up with a new plan for these yarns. Obviously I could find a sport weight sock. And I think actually, I'm not going to remember the name of the sock pattern, but I think my yarn I'm going to make into socks. There's like a Tabi sock pattern that is sport weight. But for Caleb, I'm going to use this as the leaves, like as the contrast. And then hopefully I have enough, again, black Plotalopi as the background. So it'll be black and then the green and gray. And the sad truth is that I don't think I've ever knit Caleb. That's not true. I knit him, and that leads me into my next topic. I knit him a Christmas stocking last year, but I've never knit him a wearable item. And like, I don't know, believe in the sweater curse if you do, whatever. I sort of feel neutral about it. But I've never made him anything really. And I've sewn him things, but I've never knit him anything except for the stocking. And so I feel like he puts up with my yarn buying and my yarn hoarding and all that. So I feel like he really deserves a hand knit project, especially because I knit for my friends. Not often, but like more than ever. So I think he'll like this. And also like he really wants a hat, but I can't. He had like, maybe you guys have seen in videos, like Caleb has dreadlocks, so he has like a lot of hair, and I can't find a hat that I feel like, I also used to have dreadlocks, so I know personally like how bulky your hair is, and I can't really find a hat pattern that I feel like is right for him, that's gonna fit like his hair and his head in a way that is comfortable for him. But that's why I think this cowl is going to be great. I'm going to make like, I think there's 3 sizes, and I'm going to make the medium size. So then like he can pull it up as like a long headband if he wants to. And it won't be like super loose. Like it'll be kind of snug. That's my plan at least. We'll see how it goes. I personally really want to start this project first because I think it's really, really funny. And totally not, it's like not my style really at all. Not that I don't like it, but like I wouldn't wear it. I definitely wouldn't wear it made in lime green. And so I just think it's fun. Like sometimes it's really fun to knit things that are totally outside of the box for you. And I think it's hilarious. I don't know. It's like my teenage self thinks that's really funny. So yeah, that's his project. And what is this? This is just an empty project bag in there. But the other thing that I want to mention that I didn't bring the yarn for, but it's a very basic yarn I use. But I said last year I made Caleb a stocking for Christmas, and I was going to make one for myself last year too, but I didn't have time. And I sort of foresee myself again not having time. And I also know that the designer, her name is Allison Lutz. I'm making another sock. I love her patterns, but she just released 4 new versions of this pattern, and it's the woodland stocking, I think. I'll make sure to put it here and link it, but I made one with Patton's worsted. It's like basic from Michaels or Joanne yarn. It's 100% wool, but it's, you know, the most generic like store yarn. I made one for Caleb last year. It's red and cream colored. You can see it on my Ravelry page, but I made him the bird one because he loves like crows and birds. And I want to make myself the one that has like a little deer on it because I think it looks like a little goat. So that's like my stretch goal if I ever get to that. And I will make it in the same like red and white yarn. And then we can have matching ones because like we don't really celebrate Christmas in a very serious sense, but like one thing that we love doing for each other is making Christmas stockings with like what I would describe as dumb stuff in it. So lots of candy, silly little like, you know, just little silly things for each other. And we have like store-bought stockings that we've had for years, but I really liked the idea of us having handmade ones. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to show you. I feel like this video is already long. Like, yeah, it's gonna be like over 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. But yeah, I just thought it would be really nice to do a little kind of cozy planning video. I haven't done a planning video since the beginning of the year, since my first video I ever made. And I like am really looking forward to in December, like maybe the last week of December, making a video of like how many plans of mine did I actually achieve, because I did not do that many. But at the same time, I tried some new things and had a really good time with my craft. So I just hope that this can be a little bit of a cheerful ray of hope and light. And yeah, I think it's fun to plan for the holidays. I think that's all I have to say about that. I don't know, maybe you guys want to tell me your like gift knitting plans. Do you gift knit at all? Like I said, I have a funny relationship with knitting for other people. I feel like it has to be very certain people in my life. Like if you ever get a knitted thing from me, it really means I love you. And I'm really, really looking forward to starting some shell and wool projects. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention it, but I'm wearing my Sorix smock. I'll stand up so you can see the pockets. I think I've worn this in a video before. but it's extra cozy. It's kind of cold. It's like the weather here has been weird, but it's kind of cold. Okay, I'm just rambling now. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good time. I'd love to hear about your gift knitting. Do you gift knit? Whatever, that sort of thing. I forget what I said. But anyway, if you are looking for more of me, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry. Instagram, I kind of post random stuff, like in my stories. I'm always posting stuff in my stories, mostly like inspiration, knitting inspiration stuff. So if you like that, you could head over there. If you were looking for details of my projects or like things that I want to make, my queue and my favorites, and I have a wish list on Ravelry, all that stuff, you can go see that there. I try to be pretty detailed about my project pages, so if you're ever like, I forget to say a number or a name of a yarn color or anything, it should all be there. And I think that's all I've got. Oh, also, this is like just an aside, but I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this, but if you ever want to like talk to me about books, please do. I've had some of you message me on Instagram. I love that, and we can like be Goodreads buddies too. I think my Goodreads is also linked in the description. If not, I'll put it there when I edit. Yeah, so that's all I have to say. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for coming here and hanging out with me. And I hope you have a really good week. And we'll talk real soon. Bye!